Can you see?
I could see better before you did that.
Sit, Maggie, say.
Remember, when you're talking, if you're going to talk, look toward that, not the computer. What time is it?
6 o'clock. We're live. Say
Ah, cool. How'd you know we was live? Ah, we've been live for 23 seconds. How's everybody doing? We got a team here in the house. We got Maggie and Mama Hoss. Yep. Cool. We're still learning this new system a little bit. We got StreamYard. Yep. All right, that's where we're at.
Where's the contest posted? Can you see the comments right there?
Oh, where's the contest? That's from Nate Mitch. Hey, Nate, where's the contest posted at? I have my house mode Germinating currently.
Is it a Facebook post?
Yes,
or
a Facebook post. So you got to take a picture of the scales when you weigh your hostinator, because you got to grow the biggest hostinator. So you need the weight on there and need the whole seed pack. So that's all you need in the picture is the weight. It's kind of an honor system, but you want the weight on there with it made on scale with the whole seed pack. You may have to pay it, Maggie. She gets bored. Hey, John C.
Hey, Suburban Hillbilly.
Yep. Watching from Arkansas. Cold and wet temperatures back starting tomorrow. Robert. Yeah, so it's been really warm here today. Well, the last few days. It was it was about 80 degrees. Wasn't it close to 80 degrees? We packed potatoes most of the day, but it's been warm here. Everything's starting to pop. However, we got a little bit of a cool spell coming in, but I'm sort of okay with that. Another thing too is we get dry. I'm watering my onions as we speak, so I need a little rain. Hey B, so wet here in upstate South Carolina. Should I wait to plant? Yeah, or either plant them on a hill. Yeah, I would, and I'll tell you the reason why. I've had this thing happen a time or two where it was real wet potato planting time. And you're better off probably to wait a week or two and let them dry out. Your potatoes will catch up, but if it's that wet, they will rot, especially if you got them in a low-lying area. So I would wait a little bit before I get them planted. And hopefully, when the sap starts rising and you start seeing the wind blow and the trees bend over, what that does is it gives that tree a message telling it needs to start taking that moisture. And it starts taking that moisture. And a lot of moisture will be took out of the ground when we old-timers say, sap started rising. How much 20-20-20 do you mix in a gallon for seedlings? Good question. So when your seedlings first come up, they're more apt to get fertilizer burned because they don't have much root system than they are the more they grow. So their most tender stage is the first time you fertilize them. So you want to fertilize them the weakest at that point. And as you go along, you can kind of get your fertilizer a little stronger and stronger.
So you say dilute it half strength?
Dilute it probably half strength, somewhere around a tablespoon per gallon on that first one. And then you can kind of see how they respond with that, and you can up it from there. I'd go all the way up to an ounce per gallon when your plants are pretty good size and can withstand that much fertilizer. Hey, Stephen from New Mexico. I appreciate you and love your show. Heck yeah, Stephen, thank you so much. We love New Mexico. Never been there, been close by, but it's on my to-do list. Hey, John, I'm working on an order with you. I have a question about watermelon. Tell me about the Captivation watermelon. Why so expensive? A lot of these hybrid watermelons are just naturally expensive. And they're not only expensive to you, but they're expensive to us as well. So it's just the name of the game. Of all the seeds out there, as far as vegetables are concerned, your hybrid watermelon seeds are the most expensive. I think Captivation would be a good one for you, but they're just extremely expensive. There's a lot of work goes into it on the breeder part for disease control and things like that. It's just the way it is. Even sangria is pretty expensive, and it's not a seedless.
Do you start squash in the greenhouse? No, we do not.
Tell you what I did do, David. I jumped the gun a little bit the other day, and I got a little beside myself, and I planted about 2 weeks early. than I normally do. So I got squash in the ground. I had it in the ground for a week now. We always direct seed our squash. I have transplanted some winter squash. If I had, just to give you an example, if I'm growing something out that's really rare from a seed crop that I may just have a few seeds on that I got to be really careful with, I may transplant them in the greenhouse and transplant them out in the garden. But I only do that because it is such a rare seed that I have. Normally, I just direct seed them.
I planted some cucumbers yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
You know, I preach to folks what you should do, and I just turn around and catch myself getting a little bit in these pretty days. I just get all caught up and I want to plant everything. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and plant them squash. If the freeze catches me, so what? I just replant them.
Can you start gold beets now in zone 9?
Yep, I think so. And English peas also, yeah. You just started some English peas.
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Yeah, in zone 9. I think you need to get them. You need to get them in the ground now if you're in zone 9. But I think you still got time. Hey, Dorothy. Hello. Is it time to plant pumpkins? For us in zone 8, it's a little bit too early. We'll probably wait sometime around 1st of April to plant pumpkins. I don't know exactly where you at, but us in zone 8. You can get by maybe a week or two before that, but I'd say around the 1st of April.
It's too hot.
Sharon the Human, can you explain why onions and garlic usually aren't recommended to grow in the spring and summer? It's just really according to where you're at. Now, down here in the south where we're at, we can't grow them because they'll just get burned up. But I know some folks up north that can grow them all summer long. I mean, if you're in zone 5 or 6, I don't see why not.
They can't grow.
Now, garlic, normally speaking, it likes cold weather, but a lot of people can grow onions up there on way up into the summer up there. But man, if we don't get our onions out of the ground by the 1st of May, there's something bad wrong down here. Hey, Lehman, which summer squash are you planting and how many? Oh, that's a great one there. So I've got some red curry squash in my office set aside. If you've never grown the red curry before, it's a good one. My favorite ones to grow is going to be the delicata and sweet dumplings. We always grow a few of those, but I want to grow the red curry as well. And I'm almost positive I'm going to grow some kabochis this year. Maggie's getting beside herself. So we got a lot of new ones coming on winter squash. And winter squash is just fun for me to grow. And we love to eat it as well. There she goes. Enough of that. Camp Joy Farms. Hey, I'm in zone 8B. I put my peas in the ground. 2-6. Can you direct seed your beets now too? Need to do it before the ground gets too warm? Yes. In fact, I got beets just coming up. I was out there a while ago and I got beets coming out of the ground there. Yes. Still get your beets in the ground there. They'll grow off in no time. You know, that's what I like about is having things come off before my cucumbers and all. My spring stuff comes in there. You still get those cool weather crops to come off and kind of tie you over. And we absolutely adore beet greens. So yeah, I planted a big long row of beets. Hey, Brent Hobbs, how about that? Hot pepper seeds start in zone B. Turban pepper, I'm having trouble reading. I'm gonna get them. That's on cherry bomb, Colossus jalapeno, courtesy of Hoss.
Thank you.
Anticipating May 1 transplant. Sound about right? Yeah, the honest problem is poor peppers are slow to germinate. I got some in the tray out there I've had, man.
2 weeks.
And they just now starting to come up. If you've got them up, once you get them up, you can move them on.
And the hotter they are, the longer they take.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably about right. Probably about May 1. You may hit it a little bit before that. It's according to how hard you push them. Yeah, you can have them coming up by May 1. Hey, Gabe, is it okay to directly sow arugula in mushroom compost, or should the compost get tilled in first? Till it in. Sometimes that mushroom compost can get a little hot. Yeah, get a little rich for you and burn it. So I definitely till it in. Now, normally what I like to do is put about an inch layer of regular compost or mushroom compost over the top. And then you want to till that, work that into your soil. two things it'll do. It'll kind of dilute it down so it's not going to burn anything, but also it'll help you in your microbes going in your soil there.
Plant killer.
Yep. Hey, plant killer. Well, thank you. Love the new background. Yeah, we do too. You had a part in that. Thank you very much. Danny Bennett says, I planted my Hoss native tomatoes 50 season. They are all 100% up. Too many for me, so I will let my best friends have 2 of them. Can't wait to eat them. You know what? I've got this local following, and I've done this on my own, but I just love growing tomato seeds. And I'm the neighborhood tomato seed.
Yeah, every year he says,
plant.
I'm planting all these, I'm gonna sell some.
Oh,
never
I give a lot of them.
give
I'm
them
going to
away.
have to quit that. I'm going to start selling
Our
some.
whole greenhouse is full of
It is.
Hoss seeds.
But I love giving tomato seeds away. Yeah, I do the same thing. I'll tell you something else. If you've got gardening friends out there, or you got friends out there that maybe want to garden, but they're not real good to garden, this is what I did last year. Now, this makes great gifts. Grow you some of these dwarf tomatoes in these grow bags.
The little birdie.
The little birdie series, the yellow canary, the red robin, and rosy finch, and get them up and get them established and give those away to gifts to your friends that like to container garden. Wonderful gifts. We did a lot of that last year.
That was soil test.
Yep. Suburban hibbertia. I'm on the line of 7B8. It gets tricky. Yep.
Yeah.
Highs of 50 today, lows of 80s next weekend. Yeah, we're facing the same thing here. Probably not quite as much as you are. It's just that time of year where it's going to fluctuate some. I mean, you're up there letting your greenhouse curtains up, get circulation in there. Next thing you know, you put a heater in there. Tanya. What will happen if I did not inoculate my peas or the soil before I planted?
That's okay.
I just recently learned of that. Well, this is a great question. We had this question on the Road by Road group. So here's the thing about inoculate. View inoculate kind of like insurance. If you've grown beans there before, you're probably not going to have a problem because that beneficial bacteria is probably present in your soil, and you're more likely going to be okay. If you're doing what we call new ground that hadn't had beans on there in a long, long time, you want to put that inoculate in there. And an inoculate is basically just an insurance policy so that the beneficial bacteria can help those legumes do their thing. So they can transfer that nitrogen, attach it, so they can feed better, so they can grow up better. You know, a lot of people says, well, I don't use inoculate. And sometimes I don't either. But it's just like, it's not very expensive. And it's easy to put out the new shaker can that we got. It's just a little insurance policy. So use it. One thing about inoculate is you got to want to use one specific for what you're planting. But if you didn't use it and you've grown stuff there before, you'll probably be fine. Doug, how about it, Doug?
Hey, Doug.
Got my soil test back this week and it indicated a magnesium deficiency. What's your recommendation to resolve this? A little Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate will work it right in for you. That's a good one there. It's unusual that you had a magnesium deficiency, and we don't see that a lot of times. But Epsom salt placed at the right time, take care of that. I wouldn't overdo it. Be careful about overdoing it because it does have high sodium content. But that's your best way to get magnesium to your plants. And actually, if you got a deficiency, you'd be surprised what it'll do to the plant as far as the coloring of it. It'll green it up just like nitrogen will. How about it, Wayne? Wayne says,
Hey, Wayne.
Any estimate when I can plant sweet corn in 3 feet? Only have 3 inches of snow in the garden and minus 26 this week. A lot to show. Wayne, buddy.
Stay inside. Stay warm.
inside. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a clue. I wish I knew more about 3B gardening, but I don't know a lot. In fact, I reached out to a lot of my friends to get some insight on that. I ain't got a clue when you'd plant your corn.
A carrot to grow in containers.
Don Skin, yeah. What do you could probably answer that better.
I rode that Shintsnail. How do you say it?
Yeah, that's good enough.
And the yellow one.
Yeah.
Yellowstone.
Might be Yellowstone.
They did real well in my raised beds.
One reason they do good in raised beds is because you normally have better soil in raised beds. You have higher organic matter because you always meaning your soil's a lot better than you are.
It's not as compacted.
It's not compacted. And I've seen her grow some awesome carrots in raised beds and containers. Patty Town. Can you put corn seeds right into the ground now in Williston, Florida? 9A. Yeah. You probably could have maybe done it a week ago, but I think you still got plenty of time in Williston, Florida. They were right where that's at. Patricia, I love the raised beds at Mama Hoss shows. Love from South LA.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm in the process of flipping them right now. Getting the old stuff up ready for spring.
Hookset TV. Hey, y'all, 20 of my 20 tomato seeds up in 72 hours. Yep. 19 of 20 peppers in 5 days. Awesome stuff. Heck yeah. The Bella Rosa, most people may not know this, and I'll explain it real quick. Of all the tomato seeds we don't have one that is classified as primed. The fastest germinating tomato seed we have is Bella Rosa, and the reason for that is that seed is carried through the germination process, and I don't know exactly how this happens, and it is stopped. And then it is packaged and sent to us. So it is a little leg or two ahead of everything else that we have as far as germination. I don't know how they stop that process, but they stop it, and you'll get faster germination with Bella Rosa than you will any of them. The Hossinator
is a little slower.
It's a little bit slower, yeah. And then being pelleted, most of the time, that pelleted part, what most people don't know, that's actually a clay. And that clay has to dissolve and flake off for that seed, gets moisture in there, and it starts to germinate. So the pellet seed are a lot easier to handle. If you've ever planted raw tomato seeds, you would appreciate the pelleted part because, man, they're just easy to plant in there. But they do take a little bit longer to germinate because that clay has to come off from there. Suburban Hillbilly again. I'm in Georgia too. Wow, where you at? And how do you deal with pickle worms? I have limited space. Yeah, where you at in Georgia there?
Just we have pickle worms sometimes.
Yeah. Main thing is working your soil up. After when everything is gone, pull up, go ahead and work your soil up, plant you a cover crop, and don't let those vines, whether it be squash, watermelons, or anything like that, sit out there and let them just, keep raising bigger and bigger families.
From Jonesboro.
Jonesboro.
I know where that is.
Yeah. And so you want to do some good housekeeping, keep your garden worked up, keep something planted on summer crop, try to break that cycle. Windy Hill Farm, have you ever grown big rainbows or pineapple tomatoes? No, I actually know what you're talking about with pineapple tomatoes, but I have not. I'm growing a lot of new stuff this year. It's just too much new stuff for me to grow. Every year I want to grow all this stuff. I can't grow it just so much. Like these new cream of the crop, tomatoes. I want to grow them all. And I know I can't.
When germinating cauliflower and cabbages, do they need to not when they're germinating, but once they break through the soil?
Just as soon as you see green, you got to get them underneath light or get them outside.
They need heat to germinate.
Need heat. You put them in the dark. Matter of fact, a lot of them germinate better in the dark instead of in light. But where you get that problem with leggy plants is just as soon, and this can happen real quick, just as soon as you see that green there, you got to get them underneath light. How about it, Aaron? What's your guess on how big a Hoss tomato it would take to win? I'm not going to talk about poundage because I really don't know, but I can tell you this. The guy, a friend of mine that's done a lot of work with Hoss tomato, told me these things could get, most of y'all don't know what a 4x4 is, but a 4x4 is the grading scale on tomato on the commercial line. He says these things can get huge. So I'm thinking somewhere, it's going to take a big tomato to win it. The key here, and I'm giving away some secrets here, the key to growing a big Hoss tomato is suckering that plant up to about the third or fourth node. I'm talking about after, if you trim them, that's fine. If you trim your bottom leaves, that's fine. But even after you trim them,
keep those suckers out
to the third or fourth node, if you want to grow a huge tomato.
Hey, Sarah Rose.
Lacey Jones says, Northwest Georgia here, about to start our tomatoes and peppers. So excited to try the Taki this year. Taki is a great one. Great one. We grew it 2 or 3 years ago. I love the Taki. One you may want to try next time is going to be Shelby. It's going to be real close to Taki, but both of those are great ones. Piney Woods Homestead, Georgia collards and kohlrabi transplants looking awesome. Heck yeah. We planted a few hundred.
Wow.
Don't sound like me. My greenhouse is just overflowing. We planted a few hundred tomato and pepper seeds Friday. Y'all's 24 sales are the bomb. Thank you so much. Yep, they are. They're a little bit more expensive. We have a hard time trying to express to people why they're more expensive, but they're just quality. They'll last you for years.
Hey, Walsh Homestead. They're from Blackshear.
Oh, cool.
Mark from Louisiana.
Stephen Sykes, would you give a quick rundown of which vegetables are better canned and which are better frozen? Oh, Mama Hoss. That's a Mama Hoss question there.
I like tomatoes canned, beans canned.
Potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah, I've never frozen them. I've only canned those. I like squash frozen. I like my corn frozen. My beans and peas, I like frozen.
And we've never, carrots, you canned carrots?
Oh, yeah, carrots. Now, I like my carrots canned. They're just so easy to pop out of that jar and heat up and go. I'd actually freeze them also. I like them frozen for my pot roast and those kind of things. But just to eat, I like them canned.
Peppers.
Peppers, frozen.
Cool.
Hey, Tanya from Detroit. I bet they're called.
Detroit, yep. Michelle Miller, excited about trying the Hossnader and first time trying the red snapper too. That's a good choice. So what the commercial guys do here is they plant the Hossnader and the red snapper. So just give you an example. If you've got a farmer that's planting 50 acres of tomatoes, what the breeders recommend is planting half red snapper and half of the Hossnader. So that's the two go-to varieties here in the South as far as commercial varieties. All right. My quickie 1/4 acre. Last year, beets did well making greens, but the root bulbs were small. What do you suggest to make them grow better?
How close were they? Some of mine that were really too close didn't get that big.
Another thing, make sure you use a well-balanced fertilizer. Sometimes could be a phosphorus problem there. So a good well-balanced fertilizer, make sure your pH is in line where it should be, and then maybe thin them out. Is a good recommendation there. Spa Diva, my cabbage and tomatoes are up, but I'm a little too early. I hope I can keep them happy until my ground is ready. Yeah. So one thing you can do if you want to hold a plant back a little bit is don't let it get dry enough that it dies, but you can let it get dry a little bit and don't water it as much, and you can kind of hold it back. And of course, you want to cut the fertility off. That's a good way to hold them back if you need to. Build It FBC, since the glass gem corn is a popcorn, will that popcorn be that colorful? No, I don't think so. The glass gem is I actually have some right here. The glass gem is a small corn like a popcorn, but I think it's probably actually classified as a flint corn.
Can you hold it up there to that camera? There.
You did good with that, didn't you?
I don't think they can see that.
Yeah, the glass gem. I've been knowing about glass gem for years. In fact, I may have grown some, forgot about it years ago. It's a great ornamental corn. It's a great all-purpose corn. So it's a flint corn, so it's hard to make cornbread out of it, to make flour out of it, and then you could use it as an ornamental corn in the fall of the year, and you could also pop it. So it's a good. And what's so unique about glass gem, if you've never seen it in person, it has such stunning translucent colors to it. I wish you could see it right here. There's all different colors in there, but it is absolutely amazing at the.
So it's good as ornamental too, just for decoration.
Oh yeah. And we got it all over the desk now.
That's all right.
Hey, Mr. Greg, Miss Hoss, I'm excited gathering up all your seed supplies for this upcoming garden season here in Amish Country, PA.
Ah.
Joseph Watt. Great, Joseph. We've been up there a couple of times. We were actually in Nickel Mines when they had the funeral for the shooting that they had in the schoolhouse years ago.
Yeah, that
We
was
was up there
terrible.
for a week and driving around. We actually came up upon the funeral procession on that. Yeah, we loved it up there. We go to Ohio a lot. They're always country, but we love Pennsylvania as well. Grow some wonderful gardens up there. All right, Brian, Justin, tell your favorite tomato variety to grow. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Bella Rosa was your favorite.
Bella Rosa. I'm going to have to say Bella Rosa. Now, I'll tell you the reason why. Probably been 15 years ago. I did an extensive grow out one year of several different varieties. And some of the varieties that I tried Bella Rosa against is still in production today. Some of them gone by the wayside. Bella Rosa outperformed all of them to me. And I still love it. Now, that being said, it's going to have some stiff competition this year with the Red Snapper and the Hoss Sheila. Doug, my tomato seedlings are all up and under grow lights here in Lexington, South Carolina. The leaves are beginning to turn yellow. What can I do? Get some fertility on them, Doug. Yep. Get some fertilizer on them. Make sure that they don't dry out too much. The main thing I would say is get some well-balanced fertilizer on there, preferably something like 20-20-20. Hey, Lily Farm, are ants bad for your plants? Both of my container gardens, those have ants now. Troughs have ants now. I'm watering them every day to aggravate them, but they only move from one end to the trough to the other. So here's the deal on ants. And I don't know that you're in the South. No, let's just pretend that you are. Ants, most of the time, are guarding their food source, and their food source is aphids. So anytime you see ants on a plant, the first thing I do is it rings a bell to me, and I know I've got an aphid problem because ants feed off the byproduct of aphids, and they like to guard that because that's their food source. So if you got ants, more likely you got aphids. So you want to treat those aphids, and it'll take care of your ant problem. Now, if you still got fire ant beds after that, then we got a wonderful product, fire ant control product with spinosad in there, some bait you can use to get rid of them. But I would, if it's fire ants, use the bait. If it's another kind of ant, or if it's a fire ant off somewhere it's trailing in, but you got an aphid problem. Cheryl, is it too late to plant corn? No, Decatur, Georgia, no.
Actually, too early.
No. They in South Georgia down there. Yeah, they've been planting probably. The commercial guys down there have probably been planting since the middle of February. But yeah, you got right now. It's perfect time to plant corn for you. You still got another couple of weeks that you probably still got another 30 days.
I was thinking they were north of us or south of us.
Decatur, Georgia may be north of us. Yeah. I'm thinking. If you're in Decatur, Georgia, around Atlanta, then you need to wait a couple of weeks. If you're in South Georgia, then you can go ahead and plant. But I would wait a couple of weeks. Okay, Sharon the Human says, is there a tomato variety that has similar flavor to Cherokee Purple, but is more disease resistant or just a better plant?
Purple Boy?
Purple Boy. So Purple Boy was bred for that particular reason. It looks exactly like a Cherokee Purple, but it has better disease resistant and it's a more viable plant.
We grew some of those. They did.
Yeah, that's the one you need to grow. Yep, it performs really well. It tastes good. It looks just like Cherokee Purple. Shannon says, I've heard cloves will kill fire ants. I don't know. Maybe. It won't hurt. New one on me. Fire ants are kind of hard to kill, and I'll tell you the reason why. You can kill off the workers, and you think you've really done something, but until you kill that queen, you've not done anything. She can reproduce a lot of workers there and rebuild her colony real quick. So you got to kill that queen. That's the reason our fire ant bait works good, because they carry that bait back to the queen, and you got to kill the mama ant. I used to make my living off fire ants for a few years back in the day. Ronnie Jones, Jasper, Georgia here. If I order some Hoss native seeds tonight, will Greg autograph the seed pack for me? Yes, Ronnie, I will. Just for you.
You might better make a note of that.
Yeah, right there.
What's the best crop to save money? I have 3 kids. Squash, cucumbers, beans.
Yep. What's the best crop? So, man, that's a good one there. Squash. Squash probably gives you more food for the bang of the buck than anything else does, if they like squash. Cucumbers, you can put up pickles. Corn. Corn, you're probably not going to save the most money, but you get a lot higher quality product with corn.
Beans, you can can.
Beans, you can can.
Potatoes.
Potatoes and beans, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Yep. Do y'all start any flowers in the greenhouse? Yes, John.
I would love to if he didn't have so many tomato plants planted, and I don't have any room.
Yeah.
But yes.
So that'll be our second go around is flowers. As soon as I get some of these tomatoes and stuff moved out, then we'll start some sunflowers and some zinnias. Bernie Parrish, I want to put in your water system this year into raised beds. How much water do each plants need per week? Normally speaking, an inch to 2 inches per week. Now, if your raised beds normally drain a little bit better, so how often do you water your raised beds?
During the heat of the summer, I water them every other day.
Yeah.
Especially if I got new starts coming on. During the winter, maybe once a week.
Yeah.
It just depends
then
on
the
weather.
Then if you get rain, you got the there. So normally speaking, 1 to 2 inches per week. Home field honey produce. We will be sending you some honey. Oh, cool. We love honey. I got to get me another hive of bees too. My bees died last year. Now it's time for me to be getting me another hive before my squash put on blooms. Laura L., I'm at 9A here in Central Florida. Just made my annual Hoss seed order. Well, thank you very much. And they're on the way. Growing some poblanos and gypsy peppers this year. Any tips? Thanks, y'all.
I like this
man, I do too. I love the poblanos. No, just keep them grow your transplant, grow them from seed, grow your transplant and transplant them out. And I think you'll do well. Now, fertilizer.
My poblanos didn't make till later on in the summer this year.
Right.
But then they made all the way to December.
Yeah, a common mistake a lot of people make with peppers, they don't fertilize them enough. Ricky Roots, howdy from San Antonio. Howdy, Ricky. 8B, I had to order strawberries from another company. Will I be able to get any production before the heat sets in?
I hope so.
If I put them in March 15th, I don't know, Ricky. That's a little late. Keep us updated and let us know. That's interesting. Some of the ever-bearing ones you probably can.
Ours is just putting on blooms really well.
Yeah, let us know how that comes out. Don Scan, just want to let you know I use a lot of your seeds in my hydroponic system, 8B.
Wow.
Hydroponics is something I know nothing about. Cameron in there is our seed room manager. He loves hydroponics, and he's been piddling back there. And I go back there and see what he's got growing sometimes. And it's amazing to me. Don't get me wrong, but I know nothing about hydroponics. I had a problem with black carpenter ants. Okay, black carpenter ants, I would definitely say you need to check, make sure that you don't have an aphid problem. That's ones that would be guarding those plants with aphids. So you can still use a bait type system to clear them up. That's probably going to be the best way to use some type of bait, ant bait. Chase, good day from UK. Love this channel. Hey, Chase, glad to have you from over the pond. Tim Peters Farm and Garden. Have you tried the pigs that you put in the freezer? I've never heard of Kuni, but I've never tried any. Yeah, we did. We've done a Boston butt. We haven't done Boston butt. We did ribs.
We did ribs, Boston butt, sausage, pork chops. It's all really been good. It had quite a bit of fat on it.
So the issue that we had, and I talked to the butcher about this right here, is when we got those hogs, they had been overfed and they were way too fat. So they had a huge amount of lard on them that was basically a waste because we didn't get all that lard. We didn't need a lot of lard. But if you was making soap or something like that, it'd be perfect. But if I was doing it over again, I'd put them out in the pasture and let them mature a little bit slower so they would put quite as much fat on them.
But they were great. They were docile.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
yeah.
great.
I love the pig
Yeah.
if I could just grow them different so we didn't get quite so much slaughter. And I think you could do that by raising them in the pasture. And
But they were about a year old when we got
not
them.
feeding. There's actually, I think, some nice pits.
Yeah.
Windy Hill Farm, I bought some temperature sweet corn for you guys. I hope for a good corn crop this year. Man, I got corn on my mind. I had a buddy the other day that's already planted his here. But no, somebody else. Somebody else. But I'm getting ready to plant mine too.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We love our fans.
Yep. Anderson Creek Homestead, what is the best corn variety to make cornmeal and grits?
I like Jimmy Red and the Ohio Blue.
Yeah. I would have to say, hands down, Jimmy Red. Now, I'm going to be planting some Hickory King this year. And I'm going to be planting, and we're going to probably grind some of it. But I'm growing Hickory King I love to eat it off as what we call roasting ears, to pull it in the silken stage and grill it on the grill. A lot of people don't like field corn that way. I do. So that's the reason I'm growing some of that. But we're going to use some to grind also. Jimmy Red's hard to beat. Man, it's hard to beat.
How do I can potatoes? I usually can them with my green beans. So I follow usually the Ball Book recommendations for canning potatoes. So if you're canning potatoes and beans at the same time, you always go with the recommendations or the recipe for the potatoes.
And the cool thing about that is when you get ready to make a quick supper, you can just dump it out into a boiler.
But that Ball canning book is like my go-to. So, and you can find it on the web. If you just search for canning potatoes and go to that resource, you'll find the directions.
We keep them right above the stove, so if you get in a type or something other, dump them out. Warm them up. Matter of no time you get a meal there. George's Best. What is your opinion on no-till garden for someone who doesn't have access to a tiller? You know, if you're just growing a couple plants, I think it's okay. If you're just growing a tomato plant or two, but if you're trying to grow a decent amount of vegetables to feed your family or to put up, I don't think it's the best method here in the South. Now, there's a lot of stuff on the internet about no-till gardening. And look here, if you live in Alaska and it works for you, I'm the last one to argue with you because I've never even been to Alaska, much less give you advice on how to garden in Alaska. Your soil's different up there, your climate's different up there, whatever works for you, do it. Here in the South, if we're going to grow a lot to put up and try to feed our family, we have to do it through tillage. And we do it that way because we're able to keep the weeds out of it, keep the groundwork, and keep everything.
And a lot of cover crops that you have to incorporate back in the ground, and you just can't do it without tilling.
Right. So that's the way it works down here in the South. It's a hot subject there on the internet. I can tell you that. No-till. Stormcat, what kind of fertilizer do you use on peppers? Man, that's a good one there. So I like to incorporate compost and our complete organic fertilizer, complete organic fertilizer, which is hen manure. I like to incorporate that into the soil pre-plant. And then after your plants come up, you go to our Hoss University and you want to treat them basically like you would tomatoes, the same type fertilizer schedule. A good balanced fertilizer such as 20-20-20, or if you're using a local granular product like 10-10-10, alternate it with calcium nitrate. You're going to need that calcium with your peppers for blossoming out.
Hey, Backyard Garden. And Scott
Hey,
Burns.
Lawrence, Greg needs to build a bigger greenhouse. You don't know how right you are.
Mama Hoss needs her own greenhouse.
Yep. Thanks, Brian. We need more live videos. Keep it up. Well, thank you much. It's kind of tough for us to do, but I think Sunday nights is our best time. We're kind of winding down for the weekend.
Down, getting ready for the next week.
Now, we're probably going to move it when the time changes. We're going to move it an hour later, and we're going to start doing it probably around 7 because you all.
We like to stay outside till.
Yeah, and you all do too. Y'all like to work till it starts. You have to get as much work as you can on the weekend. So we'll probably move it to 7. Stephen, you going to read Hardwood, Connecticut. Wow, thanks. Watched your shows on how to grow corn. Had the best corn crop ever. Thank you. Well, thank you, Stephen. Heck yeah.
I hated gardening until I got the Hoss wool hoe. Thank you for that. Best tool ever. Do I need to sharpen the blades? Hey, Kelly, we've asked your questions on our Robo show before.
Yeah, so you can sharpen them, but if you put them in the dirt, most times they'll sharpen themselves. You can sharpen them if you need to. And I do sharpen some. Sometimes in the wintertime, if I got something that gets a little dull, I will take our farmer's file and sharpen them. Or if you have a side grinder or a shop grinder, you can sharpen them. A lot of times the dirt will sharpen themselves.
What's your opinion on growing indoors with grow lights?
Yeah, I got some grow lights set up now. The reason we did that is because we knew everybody don't have a greenhouse. Hey, that's fine. Grow lights work good. Here's what you got to be careful of. And again, there's a lot of stuff on the internet. A lot of people out there are giving advice how you can go buy a shop light and use it for a grow light. The problem with that is the actual light part's exactly the same. I'm not going to argue that. Light's a light. But you'll notice on a grow light, it's got a dome on there that forces that light to a particular area there. And with shop lights, the light diffuses everywhere. So you don't get enough light down on your plants. With most actual grow lights, with that dome, you can actually diverse all that light down to a particular area there. And the grow lights work really well because you can get enough light there to grow your plants without them getting leggy. Be careful using the shop lights because their light goes everywhere. But yeah, it works fine. John Rock, hey John, looking forward to growing the Hoss Mash. Man, we are too. I got a bunch of them planted. Man, I got a bunch of them planted. I must have 5 or 6 trays planted. Yeah, we're excited about it as well. I tell you, I told my rep the other day from the seed company. I told him, I said, man, we sell a lot of Hoss seeds. He said, this is what he told me. He said those will be return customers. Yep. Matt, just curious, how are seeds counted for packaging? Hoss seed germination rates are outstanding. So 2 different ways. We have a machine back there, and it's not a huge machine, but we have a machine back there.
About the size of the laptop.
Yeah, and you pour it in the hopper here. It has an electric eye on there, and it's got this little computer system inside there. It's really neat. And that electronic eye counts them seeds really fast as they go into the seed.
For the bigger seed.
For the bigger seed, with a some of the small seeds. So we do that, but we also manually count. We have some ladies out there that actually manually count some of the seeds as well. But the seed machine is pretty doggone awesome. My new Tennessee home, what else can I do to eliminate voles and rodents from eating my garden? That's a tough one there. Keep the overgrown vegetation around your garden clean, and that way those rodents won't have a hiding spot. That's probably the best advice I can give you, is just keep everything mowed down, clean. Don't have anything grown up around there, because if you do, that's going to give them a place to eat. As far as voles go, can't give you a lot of insight there. We've never had much of a vole problem here in the South. Priceless stitching. Just got my seed order. Looking forward to trying the new Hoss and Shelby. Great choices. Getting away from using, I think it's
heirlooms.
Heirlooms, yep. Piney Woods Homestead. Piney Woods out, y'all. Hey, man. Can't wait for the row by row date night for us. God bless you. Well, thank you so much. We enjoy doing it. We really do. Sometimes we actually shoot it. Most of y'all may know this. We shoot the row by row on Tuesdays at lunchtime, about 12:30.
So we can have time to edit it.
Yeah, if there's any boo-boos.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sometimes it can be a little hectic around here, and we have to kind of get in here and get our mind right to shoot it, but we really enjoy doing it for you guys. Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Mr. Gray, do you have sweet potato slips, or would you be a good company to buy them with? All right, I'm going to give you some insight here. My mind just went blank. There's a company in Tennessee. What's the name of them? They're out from Nashville. I know them well, and my mind just went blank. That's happens when you get old. There's 2 or 3 people on the internet that sells them, but these guys are the bomb. And they're right out for about an hour out from Nashville on the left there. Out from, if you're looking at it, if you're going up, be on the west side of Nashville there. Gosh, it'll come to me in a minute, and I'll tell you. Tim, they're great people. Great people. Look at that.
I'm looking it up.
Steel Plant Company, Steele, Steel Plant Company there, and tell them when you call them that Hoss sent you.
Do you post to Australia? Does that mean ship?
Yeah, hey Snowfuller, we do ship some tools to Australia. We can't ship seeds over there because seeds gets a little. The government don't like us sending seeds around without a lot of paperwork, so we don't do that. Hey Chad Osborne said Steel Plant Company. Thank you, Chad. Helping the old man out there. Yeah, we send tools over there. So on the back end of our website, it's an international checkout tab. You can hit it, and we can send you tools to Australia. Please explain GMO versus non-GMO.
We have a video on that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know if we have time.
We don't have time. We have a video on that right there. That's a hot subject there.
We do not sell GMO, and no seed company like
No
us.
garden seed company.
No garden seed company can sell it.
Potato or sweet potato, which is more, Brian, you're going to find this interesting. Irish potatoes, which is similar to what you're talking about, and sweet potatoes are two different family of potatoes. One of them's in the morning glory family, and one of them's in the nightshade family. Mm-hmm. So both of them are good. They're different, and you want to grow them different, and you want to treat them different. We don't even plant our sweet potatoes till the Irish potatoes are harvested and put up. Sweet potatoes love heat. Irish potatoes do not love heat. Sweet potatoes we grow well here in the South. Mm-hmm. So sweet potatoes.
We didn't grow any last year.
We didn't grow any last year, but both of them. But sweet potatoes, if I had to just grow one and I was dependent on a food source, I don't know. That'd be a tough call.
The sweet potatoes store better.
Yeah, for us they do. Yeah. Mm. I guess it's which is superior. I guess it's 6 1/2. They're just different.
Personal preference.
Yeah.
A wandering gardener.
Still a lot of peppers last year. Wow. Yeah, sometimes that happens. You got to watch. There's some wandering gardeners out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Scott from Beaufort, South Carolina. Love the show and the seeds. Well, thank you, Scott. Tell everybody up in Beaufort we said hello. Priceless stitching. We just got a seed door looking forward to trying the new Hoss shit. Yeah. Yep. Getting away from using a majority of heirlooms. Yeah, and I touched on this in the video here a while back. Most people don't know this, but your organic gardeners, not gardeners, your organic farmers are mostly successful because they use hybrid varieties.
Not the heirloom.
Not the heirlooms. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, Skunk 8 from Off Grid.
Zone 9 in South Alabama. Taters are down. Heck yeah, mine are too. In fact, it should be coming up any time now. So we with you on that one right there. Oh, Brian says, my personal judgment is sweet potatoes and spirit. Interesting. Yep. Now, I'm going to tell you that this is weird. Everybody loves, the thing is sweet potato fries.
He don't like
I don't like sweet potato fries. She loves them, but I don't like I like sweet potatoes as a dessert. I don't eat sweet potatoes as the main course. But I love sweet potato souffle. I'm getting a greenhouse this week. I'm looking forward to the extra protection from the elements. Man, I'm going to tell you, that's some of the best money you'll ever spend. We don't sell greenhouses, by the way, but I love my greenhouse. Love it. You'll spend way more time there than you think you will.
Is it time to try or start growing sweet potato slips?
A little
early.
Yep. I tell you, when I like to plant, I like to plant my slips around the end of June. I like for it to get good hot. Well, normally what I'll do is I'll take one of my plots that's coming off a spring crop, and I'll use that as my sweet potato plot.
David said he's an 8B. Where are you at, David?
David Ransom, yeah.
Off-grid. I walked away from most heirlooms. Hybrid have done much better. They are just
Yep.
yeah.
They are bred, produce more fruits. All right, so I'm gonna give you my insight on this right here. I agree with you. However, one of the things that I love, and I don't know why, is I love the heirloom grains. Some of the old heirloom corns just do something for me. I love growing those. I think they may not produce as much as the hybrids, but I think they're more drought tolerant and they produce more in adverse conditions. So I love the heirloom corns.
David's from Tallahassee.
Oh,
Not far
cool.
from us.
Yeah. You're about an hour and a half from us. We're about an hour and a half, maybe an hour directly above Tallahassee. What is a potato slip? Whew. So a potato slip, this is the way the guys grow potato plants, and a potato plant's a slip. They plant the potatoes in sawdust, and from those sprouts of the potato will come up, and they will pull those sprouts, and they'll break off from that potato down there. Most of the time it's done in a sawdust, loose like growing medium, and that's what we consider a slip.
Mm.
A
It looks
potato
like a
slip.
sprout from.
Yeah, a potato split plant. A lot of times the same thing. I'm a little late starting peppers and tomatoes this year. Do you do anything different if you were getting started late? No. What you will find is they'll grow off quicker. So what we have a problem with in the month of February when we plant them and it's cold, they germinate a lot slower. So what you're going to find is they're going to pop
They'll catch
quicker,
up.
and they'll catch up. I've still got some peppers still to plant and a few more tomatoes.
Hey, John from Central Illinois. I bet it's cold there.
Zone 5. Yep.
We're shipping some potatoes out to Illinois, aren't we?
Yep, we are. I just looked at Chicago weather not too long ago, maybe a couple hours ago. Yep, the windy city.
What's the best way to grow corn in a small yard?
Growing a small area of corn can be difficult. I normally don't recommend anybody growing a plot less than 20 by 20. So if you have less than a 20 by 20 area, I think you'd be better off to grow something like tomatoes or
You
squash.
have to grow it in a
cucumbers.
square.
You need to grow. It's pollinated by the wind, so you need to grow a square of it and enough of it so that it can pollinate efficiently. Lars, addicted to growing, put up 3 high tunnels and want one more. Is there a cure? No, there's not. Man, it's tough, I tell you. It's this time of the year I want to plant everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good hobby, though. Butterfly Farms, do you offer any white potato varieties? Yep, we have the Kennebec. I don't know if we got any more in stock, but the Kennebec is our white potato variety that we sell. It's a good one. It's really known for frying.
Tom's Backyard Chats.
Hello from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Hey. Yep. We love our Mississippi folks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are deep south homies over there.
Mm-hmm. Sweet tater greens. Pamela Road. Never tried them.
You know what? I've had a lot of Asian people. That's an Asian thing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I've had a lot of Asian people tell me I had to try them. You stir fry them down. Yeah, we got to try that.
That's like the beets. We've never tried those.
Mm.
Those are really good.
Yep. Sweet potato greens is something is on our to-do list. Hey, Lindsay, I'm in west central Minnesota. Wow, I have 3-foot snows covering my backyard. Going to be, oh, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it won't be a little while before you hang in there. Hey, Aaron, Hoss, do you sell 2 types of poblano peppers? Do you recommend one over the other one? We sell Terrebonne and a Colossal, I believe. Chipmans.
No, the Colossal's the jalapeno.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
The one I've grown the most of is the, how do you pronounce it? It starts with a T. We just said it wrong. Yeah, something like that. That's the one I've grown the most of. Either one of them. I can't give you a recommendation on either one of them. Both of the poblanos are good. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I've learned a lot from y'all. Ordering the Hoss native seeds tonight. You go growing more hybrids here in Arkansas this year. Yep, I think you're making a good call there. If you want to grow something
Tiburon.
Tiburon. Yeah, that's a good one. What's the other one?
Okay.
Yep. Brian, what's the weirdest crop you grow? Roselle.
That's weird.
It's weird to me. Roselle hibiscus is probably the weirdest thing I grow. I like to grow something different, weird every year. Tell you one I've grown a couple of years. I've not grown that one.
I can't say that.
Yeah.
I
I don't know why they name these things so crazy names. We grew a climbing, it's actually a loofah that you can eat. We call it vine okra. We grew that. That was strange.
Strange.
Yeah, we like to eat that. That's a strange. We call it vine okra, but it's actually in the gourd family. That's a
We
good.
need to grow that again.
Yeah. Suburban, which potatoes taste better can? What you think?
What was the kind that we always grew?
Red Northern.
Red Northern.
I think the Yukons will do good too. The problem with canning, you have to cut them in half.
Well, I like to gather the small, when we gather them, the smaller ones, and I like to can them right away because you don't can them with the peelings on, so you want to scrape that peeling off, and the small ones, I don't like to cut them in half.
Yeah.
I like to do them whole.
I know you're the watermelon man. What's the best watermelon for market? I tell you what, I'd grow two of them. I would grow a red and I would grow a yellow. Those yellows, for some reason or other, they're real good at market. What I'm growing this year is the sangria and the yellow dog. The yellow dog is a smaller watermelon, and it being yellow, they just wonderful at market. Any advice on planting and raising the German Butterball potato? The German Butterball is indeterminate, and it's going to grow, have a little bit more upright characteristics to it, so you can heal it pretty good bit. You can throw the dirt to it. You can cover it up, and it'll come back through. So a lot of good healing on that German Butterball. It being indeterminate would withstand more of that healing than some of the other varieties. Randy, when you're using your 160 trays, do you pack the soil before planting, or I just fill the tray? I don't pack it. Yeah, and that way I can take my finger and I can push down the indentions there. Hey, Mama J. Hello, Odds. Nearly missed you hanging out with my junior gardeners. Yeah, we got another one coming up on that, by the way. Tammy says, Hoss, what was on you? We're in zone 8. I'm in 9A. Nothing is in the ground yet. Well, you need to be getting something in the ground. All in the greenhouse, and it's crowded. Last frost date is March 5th. Yeah, you can plant your potatoes. You still get things like beets and radishes and all that planted. English peas. So there's a lot of things you can get planted right now. Evelyn Wiggins, first time here. Do you sell flower seeds and bulbs? We don't sell bulbs.
We got a lot of seeds.
A lot of flower seeds. We love our flowers. Flowers are great pollinators for the garden, and they're good just sometimes to lift your spirits when you're walking through the garden. You can just stop and smell the flowers, look at them, and just be amazed at God's handiwork. NMA 24 North for Hoss Nuggets is MA. I don't think so. I had this conversation about 10 days ago. We had some people here from right above Dayton, Ohio. We had the Adams family here.
Adams Greenhouse.
And they stayed with us for most of the day. We went to lunch and we had some pretty in-depth conversations. And he said they do good with determinate tomatoes up there, because that was my question. How well do determinate varieties do up there? And he actually said they perform really well for them, because most time what you'll find is most people in your area plant the indeterminates. But he said they had great results planting the determinates. So I think they'll grow fine for you there. David, any update? What can I order some of your famous multiplying onions? Man, they're coming along pretty good. My guess is it's going to be about the third week in March, David. In fact, I'm watering them, irrigating them as we speak. They're looking really good. Tracy, did I get the special seed packet? My Hoss Poblano had a plant label in it. Yep. Tracy, I'm almost positive we shipped your potato order out today. In fact, I remember seeing that name. Well, I packed a lot of potatoes today, and I think I seen your name on there. So, yep. Hey, Scott, ordered all Texas sweet onion seeds, but didn't get them in the ground till early February. Will they bub or just get spring onions? You will probably get a decent size. You don't get any Whopper onions, but you probably get something big as a golf ball or maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe a tennis ball at biggest. So what happens when you plant late like that, you compromise on the size of the onions, but they'll still be wonderful to eat. Next year, you want to do a little different, get them in a little bit earlier, preferably in the fall. What's the best time to plant wildflower seeds in 7B? Greg Page. Oh, man. I tell you what, I would wait sometime in April. April, early May. I think would be a good time. I got a wildflower patch too. We grew last year. We planted like
2 years
2 years ago. And I just mowed it
Mm-hmm.
a couple of days ago. So we love wildflowers. If you got a place for them. Hey, Joe Bird, I just throw her 2 yards on top of that fresh till 40 before the garden, tilled it in, watered the plant in 2 days, horse manure. Great. That's good. I used to do the same thing when my horses was here. Yeah, horse manure works wonderful. All right, the garden guru says y'all's okra isn't in rows. When it rains, does it hurt your okra? Well, I normally do plant my okra in rows, yeah. And okra will, if it's in a wet area there and it rains a lot, yeah, okra doesn't like that. So you normally want to plant okra in a higher spot in your garden because it can tolerate more dry weather than pretty much anything else that you're going to plant. Hey, Tracy, yeah, I don't know why. Of all the orders that's weird. Of all the orders that we shipped out today, I remember looking at and seeing your name. Yep. I don't think I looked at any of 275 orders. I didn't look at any of them. I looked at that. That's weird, ain't it?
What is your website for seeds? It's www.hosstools.com.
And what seeds do best in pots for flowers? Man, we got some good ones. So we got some container-specific varieties this year on cut flowers. We got some sunflowers that work good in containers.
We've got peppers. We got tomatoes. We even got some okra.
Yeah, they want to know about flowers, I think.
No, it just says seed. Oh, that's pots for flowers.
And we got some zinnias. We got some zinnias, and we got some
new sunflowers.
New sunflowers that's container worthy. All right, we're about to wrap it up here. Garden Guru, does any of your plants get damaged if you have a hard rain since they aren't in rows?
We just asked that, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. That was about the okra. Yeah, we do plant in rows. And our garden is on a high ground, so we don't have much of a problem with things drowning out. Does excess rain affect the corn ears? Wet here in Australia, the corn has lost its tassel and a bit mushy at the tip. Will it still mature or do we pick now? Man, that's a tough one there.
I've never seen corn get too much rain.
I've never have too. So we live in a totally different climate than Australia. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Yep. Oh, thank y'all. I was glad hanging out with you all tonight.
It's been good.
Yeah. We'll
Joe Bird says Oakland do good and dry dirt. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Oh, Edie Law tried Mama's butternut squash soup recipe. It's pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, I got a good one here from Michelle Milner. I want to answer the watermelon thing. Yeah, this is a good one right here, and we'll pretty much wind up on this one. Trying seedless watermelons for the first time this year. Can I use regular watermelon seeds as companions, or do I have to use the ones y'all provided? Okay, so here's the thing. When you're growing seedless watermelon, if your pollinating plants that you use dies, then your seedless watermelons will not be pollinated. So it's important that your pollinator has a good disease package to it so it can survive to pollinate that seedless variety. Can you use any variety for a pollinator? Yes, you can. But the reason we like the sangria is because it has a very high disease package and it's going to be successful growing. Therefore, your seedless variety is going to be successful. Think about it. If your seeded variety died from some type of disease and your seedless one made it, you still wouldn't have a crop. So your seeded variety that you plant as pollinator is very important. All right.
All right.
So let's wrap it up. Thank y'all for joining us. Now, y'all get out there and get dirty. All right.